早。Good morning. Good morning. 早上好. Hello, hello. Good morning, Iris. And good morning, Maya. Good to see you guys here. You know what I appreciate about this season is that it's getting colder, right? It is getting colder, but the sky looks so pretty. It is so nice. When there isn't as much heat and humidity, it just looks beautiful. It looks amazing. Yeah. Bring that down. Okay. Oh my goodness. Got my water ready and my talking points. Good morning, Lily. So, I don't know if Jessica, yeah, Jessica Wong is probably going to be here later. So I said this yesterday. I want to give you guys a really quick reminder. So for the last 2 days, I was actually doing, what is this notice? I hate notices from these people. I was actually doing the live stream on the tube, right? And unfortunately, I was on the wrong channel. One second. Okay, whatever. Yeah. So I was on YouTube and I was actually streaming to the wrong channel for the last couple days. So what ended up happening is that I was using one of my more popular channels to do the live stream. And I was wondering, I was like, where are these people coming from? That's weird. But I didn't really put too much thought into it. And then I also noticed that like my regular folks were not on the stream. And I said, what's going on? So what ended up happening is that I logged into one of my other accounts because I manage a lot of different accounts for social media. And I was doing the live stream from there and I didn't realize it for the last couple days. So I would tell people like, oh yeah, you can find the stream on video live on YouTube. But they couldn't find the stream. Like they'll find the channel and they're like, oh, why isn't he streaming? And it's like, oops, actually, I was using the wrong channel. So there's your heads up, ladies and gentlemen. If you were looking for the live stream and you could not find it on YouTube while I was live streaming here on WeChat, that is the reason. It was because I was streaming on the wrong channel. Sorry about that. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Good morning, Yen. 早上好. I do want to give folks a heads up. I'll remind you guys a few times. Good morning, Liu Wei. Good morning, Yen. I'll remind you guys a few times during the stream that it is good practice, okay? If you have access, right? If you have access to the tube, you should definitely go there and subscribe when you have time. It's okay if you just follow me on WeChat, but I do need to travel again. I need to go traveling for some work stuff and also to meet some family members. And I won't be able to stream on WeChat during that time. I will only be able to stream on YouTube because of the regulations on WeChat doesn't let you do the podcast or the live stream outside of China. So keep that in mind. In a couple weeks, I won't be able to do the live stream for at least a couple weeks until I come back to China. So that's what's going on. I will still do the live stream on YouTube, right? Because I can do it anywhere when it comes to YouTube. But for WeChat, I can only do the live stream for WeChat in China. So if you have access, I suggest you subscribe. All right. If you want to continue to participate in the stream, that's what I suggest while I'm traveling. All right. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about guilt and control. And what does that mean? Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I mean, I'm always honest with you guys. I don't. Why do I say that? Why do people say that? But anyway, this subject, the reason I'm bringing it up today is because one of my friends is dealing with this sort of situation, this sort of experience. Hello, hello. Yeah, they do X. Okay, so X is asking, X says Xwick. Why? Because I saw a lot of people streaming outside of China. So I can explain this to you because so X is on YouTube, so I'm assuming that they don't know about the regulations on the WeChat platform in China. So what happens is if you have 50,000 followers or more on WeChat, then you can apply to get permission to do a live stream in other countries. Unfortunately, I don't have 50,000. We have about 43,000 on WeChat right now. So we haven't quite gotten there yet. I have applied for this before, but the rules have changed since last year. It could be for 100 million reasons. I don't know what reason it is. It's stupid, it's annoying, it's irritating, and that's why I primarily focus on making sure my YouTube stream is up because I don't want to depend on WeChat for this kind of stuff. It's not reliable. That's the truth. It is a robust platform and app, yes, but the regulations are really stupid in my opinion. Anywho, and so when it comes to YouTube, you can just stream from anywhere, no problem, no nonsense. I think YouTube you need like 50 followers or 50 subscribers. I think so. If I remember correctly, you need like 50 subscribers and maybe like 20 videos, 50 videos. I don't remember what the rules are for YouTube, but it's really, really minimal. It's very basic. If you're not familiar with the regulations in China and Chinese platforms, I suggest you can just go online, go on Google, and research it by yourself. I'm not going to babysit you through the rules and the regulations. I don't mean you, X. I mean, I mean Anna. Oh, you did. Oh, okay, X. Cool. Nice to see you here then. Thank you very much for hanging out on the other side. Let's say that. Well, I hope we get to see you for a long time on this side. Oh, is that what you're saying, Anna? Okay. That's really sarcastic. Like I don't know what the rules in North Korea are. I've never lived there. I don't even know if you even get internet in North Korea. I have no idea. So I don't talk about the things that I don't know. That's the thing. All right. So today we're talking about guilt and control. And what is the reason for this? And here's the situation, guys. I have a friend, and this friend is dating someone, or was. I'm not sure what the situation is now. And from what I've seen, like the messages that I've seen and the interactions, the person that they are dating is very manipulative. Very, very manipulative. So, this is a big problem because he doesn't realize. It's not even, I don't even know if he doesn't realize because I described it to them. I said, hey, look, this is what they're doing to you. Look at the messages that you are getting. It doesn't make sense. So I'll give you guys more details later. And so I believe that they do understand and they do know, but the problem is they're afraid. They're like afraid to be alone or afraid to break up, or they think that the person that they're with now is like really special or something. I don't know, or really beautiful. And maybe they're out of, she's like, oh, she's out of my league or something. I don't know what's going through the kid's head, but I've already explained it to him. I'm like, dude, this person is obviously a freaking sociopath. They are obviously manipulating you. It is totally, totally clear that at this point we're talking about like psychological abuse. So I'm gonna give you guys the talking points. I'm gonna try to break it down. And hopefully you can use this conversation as a sort of warning and awareness of when someone tries to do this to you, you can kind of see the signs and hopefully avoid that kind of person. All right. Thanks, G. All right. So, understanding guilt as a manipulation tool. So, let me give you guys the front. And I think I slightly touched on this during another live stream. So, I'm going to be touching on this again. If it sounds repetitive, I'm sorry if you were here before and heard this, but I'm going to give it to you again. When you are looking to date someone, okay, you need to know that that person is compatible with you. It's that simple. You guys actually complement each other in some way. They are, in fact, what you are looking for, and you are what they are looking for. Okay? So, what is the basic example that I like to use? Let's say you are a guy. It doesn't matter, guy or girl, right? But let's say you are a guy because this seems to be the most obvious way to frame this. You're a guy and you're single and you want to date somebody, right? But you're looking around, you really haven't found the right person. You've been on a few dates, you're not feeling anybody. You go to an event or a party, whatever, and you see this girl. This girl is a dancer. She's a fantastic dancer, amazing, mesmerizing. I told this story before, right? And you're like, wow, I really need to talk to this girl. She's so beautiful. She's so majestic. I love the way she dances. I love her smile, all this crap, right? So eventually you decide, I want to approach this girl. Let me see, what can I do, right? So you approach the girl and you just let her know straight out, like, hey, I think you're really beautiful. You're really amazing. I'd like to take you out on a date if that's okay, blah, blah, blah. All that nice stuff, right? And she accepts. She says, okay, cool, sounds great. Let's exchange numbers and contact and we can hang out. Great, fantastic. So you guys go on a few dates, you guys end up liking each other, and so you end up dating after a couple months, right? You're like, oh, you're boyfriend and girlfriend, yay, amazing. 6 months or so, maybe not even 6 months, oh my God, maybe like 3 months into the relationship, you tell this girl, hey, I don't really like when you dance with other guys. You tell a girl that you met as a dancer and you fell in love with her because of her dancing. And you tell her, I don't like it when you dance. I don't like it when you dance with other guys. I don't like when people see you dancing like something, anything like this. How asinine does that sound? You know what I mean? So, what you decide, you say, hey, listen, I don't really feel good because of whatever reason. Maybe you're like, oh, I feel jealous, or I think it's not appropriate, or whatever your excuse is. You decide that you want her to change for you. You're like, if you really care about me and you really care about this relationship, we have something special and we have a future together, you should compromise and you shouldn't dance with other people. Because that's what you do when you're in a relationship and you care about the other person. You compromise. What does that sound like to you? Caesar. But yeah, what does that sound like to you guys? Does that sound like something that is like logical, that makes sense, that you fall in love with someone, you date someone, and then you try to get them to not do the thing or to not be the person that they are that attracted you to them in the first place. What are the potential consequences of doing this? What do you guys think? Does this look like a good thing? Does it look like we're going in the right direction? Absolutely. Xwick says it's manipulating, and I totally agree with you. Let's see. Jeremiah, damn, just enter this chat and you talking about me. Yo, Jeremiah, you better not be doing that, man. You better not be trying to manipulate people. Horrible, horrible. Anyway, so let's humor this idea, okay, guys? Let's humor this idea. Let's say you manipulate the situation and you guilt your partner into not dancing, okay? You guilt trip them. And they're like, you know what? Fine. I care about you. I care about our relationship. I think we do have something special. If this makes you feel so bad, fine. Then I won't go out and I won't dance, and that's it. Congratulations, you got what you wanted, right? Yay, high five. Woo, manipulation for the win. And then what happens? Give it another 2 months. Something feels a little bit off. You're not sure what it is, but okay, don't let it bother you too much. You give it another 4 months, 5 months, and you start telling her like, I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like we're not really connecting the same way that we used to. Maybe we need to have a talk, blah, blah, blah. And then little by little, you end up distancing yourself from her. And then when she asks you, why are you being distant? Why does it feel like you don't care about me the same way, or we don't communicate the same way, or blah, blah, blah. And then you tell her, it's because you changed. We're not as close as we used to be, and it's because you changed. Before, you used to be so outgoing, so happy, so full of energy. Now it feels like you're just crawling through life. You're kind of just pacing through. There's nothing exciting going on. It just doesn't feel the same. I don't know why, but you changed. Why did she change, dumbass? She changed because you told her to change. You told her to stop doing the one thing that she loves to do, the one thing that created a large portion of her personality and her energy, her outgoingness, whatever it is. You told her to. Hey, I don't like it when you do this because it makes me jealous, because it gets you too much attention. And then when she stops doing that, and it reflects on her personality over time, then you complain and say, oh, you've changed. I don't think we should be together anymore. And you know what's crazy is that I am sure that this story sounds super familiar to so many of you. I am sure this sounds familiar. So now, you fall in love with a person because of a certain thing. Like there's many parts of a person that, can make you attracted to them. But there's usually one or two things that really stand out. But then those little things that you think are little things end up being big pieces of their personality, of who they are. And if those things bother you or make you jealous or whatever, then you want them to stop it. And then they stop it. And then that little piece of that personality that creates who they are goes away with it. And then people wonder, like, why did they change? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's your own fault. So this is basically what happens when you try to use guilt and manipulation to control people. You try to use guilt, you try to use some sort of reasoning that is outside of their best interest to get what you want, but not actually taking into account the consequences that come with doing that. And I've seen this happen so many times. It's the same story. And the point that I'm trying to drive home is that you cannot change people. Because when you change people, they literally stop becoming who they are. They stop becoming, they're no longer the person that you fell in love with, or they're no longer the person that you were attracted to in the first place. And vice versa, right? If somebody tries to guilt trip you or manipulate you into changing who you are, into removing bits and pieces of your personality to suit them, then you also are no longer who you used to be. And that's going to reflect. When your life changes bit by bit by bit, it's going to reflect on you. It's going to reflect on your personality. It's going to reflect on your behavior. And they're going to be put off by it, even though it was their fault and their idea. So this is one of those things like I talked about from time to time. I'll talk about like my my one real serious relationship. And basically, I was with the same person for 7 years, about 7.5 years. And then we have like our little ups and downs and on and offs, like twice throughout those 7.5 years. But honestly speaking, I think like from everyone that I knew, we probably had the best relationship and the longest relationship. And then people are like, oh, uh, if the relationship is so good and you guys really love each other, you would sacrifice and you would compromise and whatever. Okay, listen. Yes, but no. When compromising or sacrificing an essential part of yourself, of your personality or your ambition is the price for remaining in a certain relationship, then it's not worth it anymore. It's honestly not worth it. So for me, it was better for me to end the relationship or to exit the relationship, even though it was a good one, even though it was a very, very good relationship. It was better for me to end it and pursue my ambition, pursue my career, do whatever it is I wanted to do. It was better for me to do that instead of saying, okay, I'm going to compromise and I'm going to sacrifice something that I want to do so that I can stay with this girl, for example. And then what would happen? Several months or several years later, it will always be her fault. It will always be her fault. No matter what happens, whenever anything goes wrong in my life or I miss certain opportunities, it will always be her fault. Why? Because I sacrificed or I compromised on my life and my opportunities to stay in the relationship, to stay with her, right? So from that moment on, whenever anything goes wrong with my life, with my career, or whatever, it will always be her fault because I had to make the ultimate sacrifice, let's say, to stay in the relationship. Honestly, guys, being in a relationship under those conditions is absolutely not worth it. It is not worth it. You're better off being by yourself, doing what it is you want to do. Pursue your ambition, whatever it may be. Get it out of your system. And then later, if you are ready to be in a relationship, again, whatever it is, fine, do that. But we should never try to hold other people responsible for our own problems. We should not try to accuse people and telling, hey, I did this for you. I did it for you. I passed on this opportunity for you. It's your fault. What kind of relationship is that, It just doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm going to catch up with the chat. Give me one moment. Yes, Ania. Ania says, it will take a greater deal of patience and wisdom, I bet you. Okay. Jeremiah says, how can it be her fault you choose to sacrifice? That's the tricky part. So you just need to ask, is she worth it? There we go. Let's read that one more time. Jeremiah, how can it be her fault you chose to sacrifice? That's the tricky part. So you just need to ask, is she worth it? And the answer is no. He or she is never worth it. because it will always sit in your mind as you making a mistake or you missing out on an opportunity because of this relationship. So it is never worth it. Hold yourself responsible and accountable for your own life and your own actions. We don't need to sacrifice for anyone else unless that someone else is your child. If that someone else is a human that you brought into the world and it is your responsibility, then I understand the sacrifice and the compromise, because that child will always be your child. But when we're talking about a relationship, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. So you should not blame or guilt anyone else, but also do not allow anyone to blame or guilt you for your decisions, so long as your decisions are in your best interest. Oh my God, Iris, hold up. Iris in here with the banger. It was a very good relationship because there weren't many compromises or sacrifice. The biggest compromise that I made in that relationship, Iris, I'll tell you, the biggest compromise I made was, damn, I guess we can't get pizza today because she wants to get Chinese food. This compromise is acceptable. This kind of sacrifice is acceptable. Dang, I guess we can't go watch Fast and Furious because she wants to go watch Avatar at the movies today. That's what I call acceptable compromise. But not, damn, I'm not gonna go to a university in Europe because my girlfriend lives in America. Damn, I'm gonna pass out on this job opportunity in Canada because my girlfriend is in China. Yeah, no, hard pass. Super hard pass. I understand. Yeah, Jeremiah says, bro, I think she was just not the one you were willing to sacrifice for. No, dude, I will tell you today, even today, one thing is that I give credit where credit is due. And I always say this. I'm sure you probably heard me say this on another live stream, is that my ex, right? My ex-girlfriend was amazing. Amazing, amazing. She was an incredible person. Very intelligent, very beautiful, very awesome, understanding person, all of that stuff. For sure, for sure. And I'm confident she would say the same thing about me. So, honestly speaking, we are two very rational, logical, and caring individuals. But at the end of the day, we also acknowledge that we are individuals and that we have a lot that we need to pursue on our own, especially considering how young you are, you know? There are things you need to do in your life to not feel like you regret something or remorse for something. Well, regret if it's something that you didn't do, right? Opportunities you didn't take. Whenever you're in a relationship, regardless of how amazing the other person is, they are still another person. They are still an individual with their individual life. So, with that in mind, if you are making life-changing decisions based on that person, you will always have to live with that decision that you decided to compromise or sacrifice on yourself, on your own life, to be with that person. There's no going back from that, you know what I mean? And if anything goes wrong, it would always be their problem. That's what makes things complicated, and that's what makes things shaky. Being in a relationship with someone, and this is just my perspective, right? This is just me. This is just me. It's okay if we disagree. It's not, it's not a thing. Being in a relationship with someone, from my perspective, it means that you are compatible. It means that you match and you mesh. It means that you don't need to compromise. You don't need to sacrifice because you match, right? You yourself are a happy and fulfilled person, and your partner should also be a happy and fulfilled person on their own. And so you guys come together to share your experiences, to share your happiness together. We should never go into a relationship with someone under the idea or the pretense that, oh, this person is going to make me happy. This person is going to make me fulfilled. It is their responsibility to do that. Absolutely not. At least for me, absolutely not. I will never get into a relationship with the idea or the mindset that someone owes me something. They need to make me happy. That's what a relationship is. They need to compromise for me. That's incredibly selfish to use another person to do that for you. Now, if you're being selfish for yourself, I understand. But to use another person to make you happy, that doesn't make sense. And the same thing works the other way around. It is not my job to make you a happy person if you are an unhappy person. It is not my job to make you feel like your life is worth living, like your life is better if we are together, because I will take care of you in some way. I don't think so. I really, really don't think so. So, yes, compromising on pizza or Chinese food and what movie you want to watch and all that stuff, I think that's okay. But compromising on life-changing decisions is definitely a deal breaker for me. That is one thing I would never do. I mean, I would do it. I'd understand it if it's for your kid, because your kid is permanent no matter what. But someone you're in a relationship with, some partner that you're with, is not. That is not a permanent arrangement, and nothing will make it a permanent arrangement. Like, there are only, I want to say, like, there are only three things that are going to be permanent in your life, realistically, in terms of your relationship. And even then, it's kind of like hit or miss. Your mother will always be your mother. There's no helping that. Even if you have a bad relationship, that, this person, you cannot reverse the birth process, right? Your father will always be your father, even if they're not present. That individual is responsible for your existence, unfortunately, if it's a bad relationship or no relationship. And then your child will always be your child, because then you are the one responsible for bringing them into the world. So these arrangements, I would say, are the only thing that I think are permanent. And under those circumstances, I can understand sacrifice and compromise. Not even so much for the mom and the dad, but only for the child, realistically. And I'm sure you guys have seen it, because I know I have. You guys have seen people who have sacrificed everything, compromised everything for their partner, for somebody they love, just to get run over later, just to get used and abused later, and then abandoned. So I definitely am not going to subscribe to that. That's just me. Let's see. Lily says, good and long relationships respect each other. And JC says, love is sometimes insane. Yeah, I feel like love is probably the number one cause for suicide. I'm just saying that. I don't know if that's true. Hey, I think so too, Iris. Iris says, if I sacrifice too much for one person, I'll consistently think about if this person is worth it. Agreed. Let's see. Jeremiah says, do you believe in soulmates, or do you believe every relationship requires work? Oh, man. So that's a hard one. That is a hard one. Do you believe in soulmates, or do you believe every relationship requires work? Look, I think about soulmates the same way I think about finding your passion. And you guys know about finding your passion, right? I think about soulmates the same way. When it comes to finding your passion, my honest belief from my own life experience is that in different stages of our life, we have different passions. So the thing that I was passionate about when I was a child is not the same thing that I was passionate about when I was a teenager. Is not the same thing that I was passionate about when I was 18, 19 years old. It's also not the same thing that I've been passionate about in my mid 20s or thereafter. My passion will change depending on many different factors. It could be environmental factors, it can be because of my community, because of my network, but my passion has variations depending on what stage of my life I'm in. So when we think about soulmates, Jeremiah, I think about soulmates in the same way, is that at a certain period in time in your life, you're gonna meet someone, maybe when you're early, like in your 20s, or as a teenager, even late teens. You'll probably meet someone that you think is the love of your life. And they probably also think that you are the love of their life. And that person is like your soulmate. It's like, wow, you're so perfect, you're so amazing, you make me feel so great. All the euphoric feelings and blah, 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 blah. But we know that over time, this thing changes. So it's going to either evolve, devolve, or stay the same. From that point on, you may stay together, you may leave. But assuming that you leave, time passes, you get into your 20s or your 30s, eventually you meet another person. And you think, wow, this person is so amazing. This person's my soulmate. They're so perfect. We match. Like, oh my God. So I see soulmates the same way that I see a passion, is that depending on what stage of your life you're in and what you are passionate about, your soulmate is also going to be different. The compatibility of what a soulmate is will also be different. And with that, does every relationship require work? I absolutely do believe every relationship requires work. But work and compromise are two very different things, at least in my vocabulary. Work on a relationship versus sacrificing for a relationship are two very different things. Because you will find those people that said, I will die for you. And they mean it. They can be with you and they will die for you in any serious circumstance. This can be true. They will die for you, but they are not willing to put in the work to build with you. Those are two very different things. Someone who is willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for you, like death, is not necessarily someone who's willing to build with you and work with you. Those two concepts are very, very different, and they're not interchangeable. And to be honest with you, I would rather be with someone who would build with me, who would work with me and help me get to the next level, to develop myself and to develop themselves, to become even better than what we are, even smarter than what we are. I would prefer to have that partner than the partner who says, I will die for you. I will sacrifice everything for you. Because we're going in two different directions. To build with someone, from my point of view, to build with someone, to create with someone, to grow with someone is much more powerful than to go to the lowest point and devolve into nothing with someone. I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me. Let's see. Iris says, the answer will always be no, he's not worth it. And I'll regret that I had sacrificed. This is how I feel as well. Let's see. Cece says, my boyfriend has a weak sense of social boundaries. Oof. He told me he is changing. Should I let him change and believe it? Well, I mean, that I don't have a lot of information to go by, Cece. But I will tell you, any person who has had enough experience in different relationships with different people and cultures and whatever will tell you this, is that you yourself should not try to change another person, especially an adult, right? So when someone tells you or someone shows you who they are, you should believe it. If someone is showing you that they are changing, or if they are showing you that they don't care, or they are showing you that they do care, then you should believe them. That's it. It's as simple as that. You as a person, you will not have the ability to control whether or not they change, to control whether or not they care. All of those things happen from the inside. Those things are internalized and we don't really control it. And if you do try to control it and force it, eventually it's going to burst and it's going to bite back. It is just a matter of time. As adults, we should not try to change or stop other people. Oh, wait. I think I lost. I think I lost the part that you are asking about there. Anywho, feel free to elaborate. So this is the situation, ladies and gentlemen. People can use guilt as a tool, as a weapon to control you. They can use guilt to make it seem like you are a bad person because you are putting yourself first. That you are wrong because you won't compromise or you won't sacrifice for them or whatever. And then they will make themselves seem to be the prize. Saying like, oh, you'll never find a girl like me. You'll never find a guy as open-minded as I am. You'll never find a man who will take care of you the way that I do. You won't find a girl that will give everything for you like I will. Yeah, that's not your problem. That's not your problem. If somebody is trying to guilt you into changing or guilt you into sacrificing or compromising yourself for them, that is the biggest and most obvious red flag, in my opinion. Prioritize yourself first and keep yourself happy. Because when you are happy, it makes it much easier to be in a relationship. It makes it much, much easier to build together, to work together, to learn together. Your relationships are so much better and so much easier to manage when you take care of yourself and when you put yourself first and when you make yourself happy. But when your happiness is dependent on what another person does, that is the perfect recipe for chaos and disaster. Let's see. Ania. Low level of value or personality or financial status or low atmosphere of society involvement. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're referring to. That's my problem. What do you mean by low? Are you talking about when I was describing like I'd rather have a person who would build and work with me as a person who will go to the low side? I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the first talking point. All right, let me see if I can get to what Ania was talking about. So what I'm talking about, Ania, is when you're in a relationship with someone that they see everything as sacrificing, compromising, and giving and giving and giving for the other person. Like the person that says to you, I would die for you, I will give up everything. This guy or this girl, right? The mentality that they have, the mindset is pessimistic and destructive, right? They are under the assumption that things will get bad and things will be horrible and that they will have to make some massive sacrifice. This tells you a lot about a person. The gesture of, yes, I would die for you, sounds amazing and it sounds romantic. But the reality is that that gesture is very destructive. So when you are dealing with a person who has a destructive mentality, sooner or later, you're going to end up getting in that path, right? You're going to end up in that horrible place. But when you are with a person who tells you, I want to build something with you, I think me and you are compatible. We are both strong, logical, rational, happy individuals. And if we work together, we can do anything. That person is constructive. That person has a forward-thinking psychological state of mind. So that person will also gear you in the same direction. How can we build more together? How can we be even better together? How can we make this a team so that we are unstoppable? Take over the world. There we go. But when you're going to, I will die for you, this is a destructive psychological state. This person will die for you, but they will not put in the work to be able to get to that constructive level. So I rather not. Oh, I see. Cece says, he is changing the way for social boundaries. He thinks he is compromising or even sacrificing for this relationship. So Cece, if you were here from the beginning of the live stream or early when we started today, then I actually already covered this about what are the consequences of people who do something like that. When you're trying to change or compromise or sacrifice what you do socially or otherwise, the things that make you happy or the things that contribute to your personality, what are the consequences of that? I would suggest if you missed it, you may want to go into my channel after the live stream is over and just check the replay, because we do cover that. There's nothing good that comes from trying to compromise on yourself if you are compromising on something that you really care about. Tell him, Terry. So Terry Yang says, what one should do is to change oneself, but not the others. And then, oh, I can't read your name. I'll call you Chang for now. Everyone will change when they age and they grow up, yes. Canary says, a lady tells me she cannot depend on a man. She must be doing something by herself. Yeah, probably. Ah, I see. All right, Cece. So Cece says, I don't want to change him, but I do have my own standards for social boundaries while we have a huge gap of it. Yeah. So when you and your partner have huge differences in terms of how you see your social boundaries or how you see finances, how you see education, so off like this. Yeah, this means that at that point in that category, you are not compatible, especially when you're talking about social boundaries. So for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say he believes, for example, he believes that his girlfriend should not have guy friends. That is a social boundary. Like if you have other girlfriends, that's fine, but to be friends with guys is a slippery slope and you should not have guy friends. Maybe for the girl, she thinks there's nothing wrong with having guy friends. Why would this be a problem? Under these circumstances, you need to consider, if you have friends that are guys in your life, and this has never been a problem for you, and this has even helped you or added to who you are, your personality, the things that you do, then you need to keep in mind, the moment you decide that you will no longer be friends with guys or with men because your boyfriend said so, that is going to fundamentally change who you are. And that is going to fundamentally change how you feel about yourself, how you feel about men, how you feel about relationships. And it's going to reflect on your behavior, it's going to reflect on your personality. So just be very, very mindful about those things. Got you, Canary. Yeah, I understand, Cece. Cece said he's trying to meet my social standards, but he has a feeling of sacrificing for his dreaming home with me. Yeah, dude. If that is accurate, like that is the situation, honestly speaking, I don't really see, 'cause I don't know what it is, right? I don't know the specifics of what is it that he is sacrificing, right? What social standard? I don't know. But if it does feel like a sacrifice for him, it does feel like a compromise, then it is guaranteed to be a problem for you guys later down the road. Guaranteed to be a problem because he will compromise or sacrifice, and then he will have some resentment or remorse because of it, and it'll be your fault. Sydney says, I would die for you. Sounds romantic when I was 20, but it sounds stupid when I'm 30. Nice, right, Sydney? That is very, very well put. Thank you so much for that comment. Oh boy. Yep, yep, I hear you. I can feel that way. I definitely won't vocalize it. Listen, it's not that big of a deal. I would probably die for a random 5-year-old crossing the street about to get hit by a truck. So, honestly speaking, the gesture is not that grand. Yeah, you're good, Cece. Well, ouch. Sharon says, in the relationship, the one who feels pain is the one that changes. Hmm. That's that's unfortunate, but I think it's true. Hey, anybody has some advice here for Andy? Andy says, how can you keep passion to your wife or your husband? That's fun. Yeah, Andy, I'll keep it simple, okay? Number one, don't stop having sex. That would probably be my basic answer. Don't get married and then change the relationship completely. That's where everybody fails. That's why you get a 50% divorce rate. Because people get married and everything changes. They're like, okay, we're married now. We have to be responsible adults and totally ignore each other. Like, no, don't be a dumbass. Prioritize your partner. Prioritize your partner. Take your partner out on dates. Buy them random chocolates and flowers in the middle of the day for no reason whatsoever. Send them a random message that says, I hope you're having a good day. I'll see you later. Just do random shit. It's so easy. It's actually not hard. It is so easy. When you want to maintain like passion or something like that. I mean a guy. Girls, maybe girls don't do this. Girls don't do this. I'm talking about guys. Guys, if you are trying to keep passion in your relationship, or you trying to keep like a sort of love atmosphere thing going on, just do random shit. Literally do random shit. In the middle of the day, I don't know, while she's studying or whatever, you just give her a kiss and you walk away. And that's it. Don't explain anything. You just show up, give her a hug, give her a kiss, walk away. Don't say a goddamn thing. The next morning, have some breakfast ready for her if you can. Simple. Simple. Do random shit. Women love it. Love it, love it. Do random shit and don't explain why. Don't give a reason, don't give an explanation, just do it. Today, Does she have a job? Is she in an office? All right. Around lunchtime, send her some flowers for no reason. Send her one flower for no goddamn reason at all. Thank me later. As far as girls, listen, I I don't envy girls. So guys are weird. Guys are really, really weird. And I'll tell you what guys in general, this is general, this is not everybody. A lot of guys, they like to be left alone. They like to feel like they're at peace. And the easiest way to make a guy happy is probably food. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing, like I said. Don't explain anything. When you do something nice, when you actually, I don't know, make some sort of cute gesture, don't explain it. You just do it. And that's it. But I would say in some ways, the girl's job can be harder because for the guy, for a lot of men, the key is not to give them attention, but to give them space. To give them space and to show some sort of understanding. That's basically it. So like I would tell you, like in psychologically speaking, the dynamic is this. With men would rather have you listen or feel something with them, but not really talk. And then girls typically in general, right? They want you to engage. They want you to respond and feel like, oh, he understands me. He understands what I'm going through, how I feel, blah, blah, blah. They kind of need some of that back and forth. But when we're talking about passion and love and cuteness and stuff like that, you literally just do random shit. Just do random stuff throughout the day. Don't explain why you do it. Do random sweet things once a week. It's worth it. There's a big payoff. I've done this a lot. You can see it in their face. They're like, this is cool. Keep distance. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Terry says, compromise and sacrifice can become a habit to someone, and then they cannot see your value anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. What? Whoa, dude. Wow. That is genius. John says, treat him or her as the other man or woman. Wow. I am dumbfounded. That is incredible. But you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you, John. This is probably the single best piece of advice I've seen on a stream. Wow. Treat him as the side person. Oh my God. Wow. That you like when you think about it, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. John, I don't know where the hell you came from with that, but wow. I hope you're not talking from experience. Wow. That was good. That was really, really good. Amazing. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. 关注一下, make sure you hit that follow button if you enjoy the conversation. It's almost 9 a.m. I want to remind you, in a couple weeks, we will not be on the stream on WeChat. So if you have access to the tube, make sure you subscribe on the tube as well. It's the same name, Comet Live. So if you have access to it, make sure you subscribe to me there if you want to be able to still join my live streams while I'm traveling. I will be doing the live streams on video in many different places on YouTube, but I will not be allowed to do it on WeChat because we cannot stream the WeChat podcast or the WeChat live stream when I'm outside of China. So I won't be able to do this one until I come back to China. Alternatively, I will be posting videos all the time. You guys know this. Whenever I travel, I always post videos of the things that I see, the experiences and stuff like that, just to share with you guys. So do pay attention to my WeChat channel and check out the videos when I'm not live streaming, okay? And if you do want to participate during the live stream and still have these great conversations, just make sure to follow me on the tube. Jeremiah. Oh man. All right. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time to get back to work. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow? It's Friday, right? Because today's Thursday. Let me check. Just to be double check. Yeah, okay. Tomorrow's Friday. I thought yesterday was Thursday. I don't know what happened. My time kind of got booped. I don't know why. But yeah, tomorrow is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. So let's have a good Thursday. Let's make sure we look at every experience as a growing opportunity. Stay positive, stay amazing, stay beautiful. And remember, if you want to be able to give some suggestions or ideas to me directly or ask questions as your personal development and business consultant, you can add me on WeChat. My WeChat ID is the same as my channel ID, Comet Live, KOMITLIVE. So if you want to send me a WeChat, follow or invite, you can send it to me right there. Just use the same name. All right. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, you've been amazing. It's been a great talk this morning. I had a lot of fun, and I've only got through maybe one talking point. So we'll have to continue this tomorrow. Stay beautiful, stay amazing. Have a great day at work. I hope it is, well, I don't know, whatever it is. I hope it's positive, whatever it is you do. I hope you do something productive. Stay beautiful, stay amazing, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye, YouTube.